What's happening, everybody? Welcome to Screen Realm. My name is Guillermo, and up for review today is John Wick Chapter 4, the fourth film in the Keanu Reeves starring action franchise that kicked off back in 2014. Yes, somehow it's been close to a decade. Now, this is a film series that, in my opinion, began in decent fashion. I enjoyed the first film, but perhaps wasn't as blown away by its very familiar elements as some. That being said, this series has gone on to kick serious ass as it's progressed, elevating the action and style to ridiculous heights. We've reached round 4 here, and there's no question at this point that the John Wick films make up what is now up there among the greatest action franchises to hit the screen. Now, I will be pointing out some wrinkles that I had with Chapter 4, but relax, they're on the minor side of things. For now, let me put it simply. If you're a fan of action cinema, John Wick Chapter 4 is a bloody winner. We catch up with the Baba Yaga following the events of John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. His fight with the High Table is continuing to boil over, gathering an insane body count as our badass continues to do what he does best. Wick gets yet another bounty put on his head, this time by the order of High Table senior member Marquis Vincent de Gramont, played by a brilliant, and I loved him in this film, Bill Skarsgård. Among those on Wick's tail, Kane, a blind High Table assassin, played by an on-fire Donnie Yen, and Mr. Nobody, a dog-owning bounty hunter, played by Shamir Anderson. Cue a globe-trotting journey of glorious bullet-penetrating, bone-snapping, knife-plunging mayhem. This being the fourth Wick film from director Chad Stahelski and his team, it's easy to see the confidence that has built up over the chapters. The choreography, the editing, the production design, the cinematography, everything's elevated here. The action choreography is honestly stunning. Obvious care has gone into crafting riveting combat sequences packed with imaginative kills and incredibly painful looking stunt work. Seriously, this stunt team deserves wide recognition. There were many moments when I was left wincing at not only what occurs in the film, but just thinking about what that real life person just threw themselves into. Importantly, the combat composition is made to be easy to follow, allowing for further focus on style and cinematography, as well as long shots that in turn allow for the action scenes to be appreciated. A quick sidestep for me though, the ambitious long shots and the attention to clarity did unfortunately draw my eye to the waiting bad guy. You know, when a goon has to stay writhing on the floor until it's his turn to fight the hero? Yeah, I feel a little crummy bringing it up, but I noticed it a few times and I didn't really want to. Now, whether or not the scenes are elongated to the point of exhaustion, I'd say that both sides are certainly arguable. There are many long action sequences here, so many in fact that I would understand a critique of overkill. Personally, and I'll be honest, a thought of overindulgence did cross my mind a few times. Ultimately though, I found that the action beats and the plot moved together at a strong enough pace, managing to keep the exhaustion I felt lined up with what Wick was feeling by the time he and I got to the finale. And the sheer number of jaw-dropping action moments, well, I'd say that it makes this film one worthy of many revisits. One watch is just not enough to appreciate just how much is going on. With a runtime of 2 hours and 49 minutes, Chapter 4 is the longest film in the franchise. Now, I can imagine that those less inclined to enjoy long sequences of action and what is essentially a pretty simple plot may find it a little taxing. But that really goes without saying. I mean, the fourth chapter of a continuing narrative thread, it's not exactly going to be something tailored for newcomers. Among the standout scenes for me, the traffic circle sequence at France's Arc de Triomphe, which you've seen pushed in some of the trailers, and the technically incredible sequence of action that takes place in abandoned apartments with long takes, crane shots, and a dragon's breath shotgun. As mentioned, this is a gorgeous action film. It sounds weird to say, but this really violent picture is really quite beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous work from Stahelski and cinematographer Dan Lautston, whose credits include Guillermo del Toro films Crimson Peak and The Shape of Water. And with ultra stylish production design from Kevin Cavanaugh, The Dark Knight Nightcrawler, this may be among the most visually sumptuous action films that I've ever seen. I haven't mentioned him too much, but at this point you know Keanu Reeves and his performance as Wick. He continues in similar, familiar, solid form, although at this point John Wick's narrative arc is limited limited on the dramatic side of things. Thankfully, screenwriters Shay Hatton and Michael Finch, well, they know it. So the story is given oomph thanks to a talented ensemble that texturize what could be very simple cardboard cutout characters. Newcomers to the franchise, Donnie Yen and Bill Skarsgård are the standouts for me. They're both absolutely fantastic. As the blind badass that is Kane, Yen brings his screen presence and gives us a character that just exudes cool, owning the screen whenever he's on it. With a personal connection to Wick and his own reason for having to give chase, Yen is given much more meat, which provides us more than just awesome ass kickery from a great actor. Honestly, I think he really deserves to have his own spin-off franchise. And Skarsgård is also great, giving us a slappable baddie that carries a tangible power without having to shoot up a ton of people to show it. It's a very solid ensemble overall, including returning cast members Lawrence Fishburne, who again chews up the screen as the Bowery King, and Ian McShane as Continental Manager Winston, who is given much more of a proper arc this time around. The late Lance Reddick also returns, giving a bittersweet turn as Winston's right-hand man and friend, Sharon. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention the strong turns by Hiroyuki Sanada and Rina Sawayama, who play a tough-as-hell father and daughter. British action star Scott Adkins is also here, but having him play this kind of character, while it was kind of fun, I just wasn't really a big fan of having him in a fat suit with a bumpy German accent. If you have Adkins, let's have him play someone more like Adkins taking on Keanu. That'd be fun. If there is an area here that I wish they delivered more strongly on, it would be with the drama that drives the narrative between the fights. As mentioned, some of the side characters are given more stakes, and that amplifies their motivation. John Wick's motivations at this point have been whittled down. Naturally, I'm not denying the whys of the hows, but Wick's particular story felt wanting this time around, at least for me. I think I wanted Wick to have a more fleshed out emotional chapter here. By the time the film's credits rolled, I was satisfied on the entertainment side of things. I'm just not sure how satisfied I was on the emotional, dramatic side of things. But hey, this is a stupefyingly gorgeous action film. Almost 3 hours of lovingly crafted combat with applaud-worthy choreography and stunning cinematography. A little more dramatic weight would have elevated the film higher, but let's be honest, we're here for the action and the Keanu. If you're a fan of the franchise, a fan of action cinema, and a fan of Keanu, well then lock and load. Let this film take you for a ride. I'm giving John Wick Chapter 4 4 stars out of 5. And that is my review of the 4th John Wick film. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think of this film? If you've seen it, hit up the comment section. Where does it land for you in the franchise? Best, second best, worst? Let me know in the comment section below, and be sure to hit the subscribe button if you still haven't to stay up to date with all things coming from Screen Realm. Catch you soon.